Rainy days don't seem so wet. Stormy nights don't stay. From the moment that we met, you were worth the wait. Oh, this could be the best thing that I'll ever know. Best thing that I'll ever know.
Hello, hello, hello. That ended a little quicker than I expected it to, sorry. Okay, so yesterday we started going over the Michael Monkey Vaughan, and we got through part of the first year of it mostly. I found out today that one of the suspects was, it's been 3 years now, or 4 years, one of the suspects was arrested today. 2 of them are already in jail, and another one has been arrested. So hopefully soon we will learn where Michael Monkey Vaughan is. And Miss Brandy and Mr. Tyler will be able to bring him home. So before we go too far, let's put this. I got a new fair use disclaimer, and it's up here. Is not meant for kids. Oh, I put the wrong one up. Sorry. Okay, all games shown are. Oh, I'm going to have to change fair use disclaimers. I just want this bottom part. Good night. Okay. I guess I should have read it before I clipped it. All right. So in the meantime, we'll go into chapter 2 of learning about Michael. Did you see my thumbnail? I thought that was so cute. My AI generated it with a little cartoon kid playing out in the yard like Monkey would have done. And I said, Happy Easter on it. I hope he can be home with his mama and daddy for Easter. That would be so nice. Okay, so anyway, geez, I have 5 of them tonight? I guess I do. Okay, thank you to the 2 people who are in the chat. Please hit the thumbs up. I appreciate you being here. You can chat with me if you'd like to, because that's what I'm here for. If you have any comments on the story, because you might know more than I do, please feel free to help me out. That's what I want to learn. So let me put on some music. I actually got new music. Okay, and then we will pull this up. Okay, hold on. The music in the background is too loud. Okay, we saw
Michael, who also goes by Monkey, was reported missing Tuesday night in Fruitland. While law enforcement continue to search for clues as to where he might be, support around the Treasure Valley is pouring in.
Welcome to Left Undone, Incomplete Investigations. I'm Catherine. Today, I want to tell you about missing Idaho 5-year-old Michael Joseph Vaughan. He was last seen on July 27th, 2021. Hi, and welcome back.
Okay, right there. If that I think that was a staged thing, because if that had been a real search, they would not have picked up that bear or dog, whatever, and walked off with it. They would have called law enforcement in to mark the location of it and photograph it and everything before they took it for evidence to see if it had any of Monkey's DNA on it.
Michael Joseph Vaughan went missing at approximately 6:30 p.m. on July 27, 2021, Tuesday night. Michael was noted to be home with his father, Tyler Vaughan, and his baby sister. His mom, Brandy Neal, was allegedly at work. From what I have gathered, he was in the house and his father left the room to change the baby's diaper. When he came back, Michael was gone. Law enforcement has stated that he was seen walking east on Southwest 9th Street at 6:40.
This hasn't, well, it kind of does have something to do with this, and I welcome all of your comments. We can agree to disagree if we need to, okay? I'm okay with that. But what I'd like to say is I was watching another creator's channel today, and he was talking about one of the suspects that got arrested today. And I was looking through the chat because I don't go to that creator's channel very often, maybe once a month. But he happened to be talking about the same case I'm talking about, so I went to see what was going on. Somebody in the chat said, a parent shouldn't let a 5-year-old child outside to play by themselves. There was this much of me that wanted to pop in and say, if you've listened to the case, you know that the parent didn't let the 5-year-old out. The 5-year-old went out the side door. So if anybody has any questions about why the 5-year-old would be outside by himself, he wasn't. He was in the living room while his dad was in there, and his dad went to check on the baby and order pizza. And Monkey snuck out the side door because he was smart enough to know which door he could open, which one he couldn't, because the front door was very hard to open. So that, for future reference, if anybody's curious, they did not just let Monkey go outside and play by him.
45 p.m. This is unclear if an individual remembers seeing him or if this was reported possibly on one of the neighbors' doorbell cameras. Brandy Neal is the mother of 4 children. The two youngest are Michael and the baby that was at home with their biological father, Tyler Vaughan. The other 2 older children were said to have been with their own father and away from the home. Michael is 3 foot 7 inches tall and about 50 pounds. He's 5 years old and is often referred to as MJ or the nickname Monkey. He is wearing a Minecraft t-shirt, dark briefs, and blue flip-flops. Police have been to the home at least 4 times and searched. They have also brought in dogs, but Michael's scent could not be found outside the home, which could be caused by many factors. Law enforcement has said it could have been due to many people that had come through the area, through the home, helping to look when they were initially called. The parents have been advised to stay off social media due to the speculations and rumors.
Now, what they meant by that was when the community found out that Monkey was missing, so many people came to help. There was law enforcement, there were people wanting to search, everybody came to their property. And they're thinking that maybe that Monkey scent got covered up by the other people that had been there.
That can be quite hurtful to read. This right here is the street that they live on, and I'm just showing you the view. Now, when we turn around, from what I understand, their house is the second house from the corner, and that street that crosses next to the cornfield there is Arizona, and they live on 9th. You can see by looking at the area that there's a lot of cornfields. It's very rural and small neighborhoods throughout. Their neighborhood looks to be about, a street long and a street back behind them, and then goes into cul-de-sacs of the rest of the neighborhood in the area. Unfortunately, there are some rumors that there have been recent possible attempted abductions, not necessarily in Fruitdale, but in the local Idaho neighborhoods.
Well, tonight, concern and confusion in Fruitland as law enforcement and the community continue to search for a missing 5-year-old boy. Michael Vaughan, also known as Monkey, has been missing since Tuesday night. Now, we've watched as multiple law enforcement agencies have used helicopters, drones, and canines to find the little boy. Now, a national agency is joining in on the search, and it comes as we're now expecting an update about this case from police. Our Tristan Lewis is live in Fruitland, where he has been staying on top of this story for us this week. Tristan, walk us through what you've learned.
Shira, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children say they have a team on location in Fruitland. That team is known as Team Adam. They help with local law enforcement agencies on their search, spread awareness of children's disappearances, and help families during this devastating time. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children were not able to go into full details about what they are bringing to Michael's case, but in general, Team Adam is made up of retired law enforcement professionals. They are sent to sites where cases are unfolding to provide ground technical assistance and other national resources. They also bring equipment and more resources for each case. And while Team Adam is currently on location, the Idaho Army National Guard was in the area Wednesday, also aiding in search efforts. They were asked to use one of their UH-72A Lakota search and rescue helicopters.
Our crew conducted a thorough search of the area of interest, but unfortunately they were unable to locate the missing boy.
The Idaho Army National Guard was soon after called off the search. Lieutenant Borders tells me they get their requests for these types of operations from the Air Force Rescue Center in Florida. And again, this search is still very active, and Fruitland police ask everyone in the area to check their property and if they see anything, let police know as soon as possible. And Shira, like you were saying, Fruitland police will be holding a media briefing tomorrow at 2 p.m. at City Hall. And of course, we'll be staying on top of the latest on everything going on in this case, and any updates will be provided on ktvb.com. Shira.
Thanks, Tristan. And again, we want to show you, this is a picture of Michael. He has blonde hair, blue eyes, and is about 3'7". He was last seen wearing a blue t-shirt and dark blue briefs. And if you know where he is, call 911 or the Payette County Sheriff's Office. Again, we'll also live stream tomorrow's news conference, and that happens at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Brandy had posted on community help page in the area, please help, bring my baby home, share, post, share. On Tuesday, 27th, between 6:40 and 7 p.m., our son, Michael Joseph Vaughan, Monkey, went missing from our neighborhood. He was wearing a light blue Minecraft shirt, size 4 to 6 in boys, black spandex boxer briefs with lime green trim, and a lime green Minecraft character on the left leg, aka a creeper, with dark blue flip-flops, size 11. We have received such love and support from friends, family, and the community. The outpouring care, time, love, and support has been beyond anything we could imagine. Thank you to every single person that has tirelessly helped searching. Please keep sharing. This unimaginable nightmare is beyond words I can express. Please, please help bring our baby home. We just need our monkey home. I will not stop till he is safe in our arms. And to add to a little bit of the...
I don't know how she does that technique where the looks like the screen is just backing away like that. I haven't figured that one out. I'm trying to learn. I'm learning AI, thank goodness, but one step at a time.
Of the confusion, I found this post. This kid is my next door neighbor. He was at my house this evening. I know the tracking dog was in his home. The dog has not been at my home where the child was before he went missing. Helicopters have been out. Multiple drones have and are still out. Mom was at work and dad was at home with him and baby sister. He is notorious for sneaking away. Very social child, horrible situation. Now that was from the neighbor, Jennifer. There's also another Jennifer that's very...
Yeah, so I guess that clears it up from what she was saying in the beginning about it wasn't clear if it was a neighbor or a Ring camera. So I guess that clears it up that the neighbor, Jennifer, actually did see Monkey at her house.
Very close to the family. She said, people have been asking what the family needs. This family is well on food and other necessities at the moment. However, there will be a very heavy financial burden once this is over without them being able to work. If anyone is wishing to help alleviate this burden, there has been an account open for Monkey's parents. Please feel free to contact me. No amount will be too small. Thank you for your continued support and prayers. God bless you all. And then she noted, WAFD Bank in Payette is accepting donations directly for this account. If you wish to make a donation electronically, please message me directly for the account information. Thank you. Just a side note, I think that they should accept food as well because some people are more comfortable donating that. And if the time comes when they don't have income, you know, there can be frozen food, staple food, boxed food, canned food, and some people are more comfortable doing that than handing over money. So I really think they shouldn't say don't bring food. That's just my personal opinion. Also, one of Brandy's sisters had posted, everyone that's been asking me about a GoFundMe for my nephew, we have created a checking account in his name to help keeping the searchers fed and hydrated in this heat. If you want the information to help donate, please just message me directly and I'll give you an account number. Although the law enforcement is discouraging community searches at this time. So the professional searchers, I don't know if they want to be donating them. Maybe food and water and all that kind of stuff. But that, again, these are a little conflicting, but the money could be used for both, I'm sure. Now, for my research, I believe that their house is the second one from the corner on the right-hand side here as we're looking at the map. And if you look down at this angle, that street it tees into over here. Let me move my map a little bit. This would be their house. And then that street right here that it tees into is Arizona. So they are saying that he was spotted by someone, don't know if it's a camera, don't know if it was a person, right in this area right here, about 6:45 p.m. on the 27th. And
I don't know where she was pointing.
Today's update, Saturday, July 31st, 2021, there was a press conference today. And basically, they are a little bit vague about some information. And I guess that makes sense. And that's what they do. But I'm starting to wonder if they think that this child has been abducted the way that they're being vague and not just like a child that wandered off. I'm not sure. Tell me what you think in the comments below. But it does say that they said they really want anyone that might have relevant information to call, even if they think it's not relevant. And they, again, in this press conference, you can see they are discouraging community members from doing their own searches, except for on their own properties.
This is weird. Okay. They did a press conference yesterday, according to the video. And they were all standing there. Everybody was standing there. And then today they're doing another press conference, but there ain't nobody changed clothes. Everybody's still wearing the same clothes they were wearing yesterday.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is JD Huff, and I'm the Chief of Police for the City of Fruitland. And I just want to start out by saying thank you for attending today. This thing is monumental, and it's super important that we have you guys here helping us out, getting some words out here today. So I want to start this off by introducing some of my counterparts here, some of my partners that are helping me with this. I'll start out with Special Agent Brian Sullivan with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Captain Matt Sly with the Idaho State Police. I've got Chief John Plaza with the Payette Police Department, Brian Marinelli with the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue Team, and I've got the family of Michael Joseph Vaughan here, Brandy and Tyler and Brandy's sister here today with us. So I'm going to read my press release to you, and then I'll stand by for a few questions for you once we complete this, okay? Today, the Fruitland Police Department, in conjunction with the State Police, multiple Treasure Valley law enforcement agencies, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, we continue to search for missing and endangered 5-year-old Michael Joseph Vaughan, MJ to his family and friends. Michael was last seen near his residence on Southwest 9th Street in Fruitland at approximately 6:30 p.m. on July 27th, 2021. Operations to date include the methodical search of the area near Michael's residence, which included 2 irrigation runoff ditches, which were drained by the Fruitland Public Works Department in an extensive search and rescue effort, including the use of canines, aerial, and marine and land support. Idaho Fish and Game officers are continuing to search the river by boat 4 to 5 miles downriver and back up, and in the sloughs of the Snake River as well. The Fruitland Police Department will continue to organize search and rescue operations with resources provided by the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue Team, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and others. We've received a tremendous amount of support from the Fruitland community and will continue to call upon them, but as needed. We're continuing to seek the public's assistance to identify individuals who are in the area of Southwest 8th, Southwest 9th, and Cornwall Way in Fruitland from 6:30 and 7:15 p.m. on Tuesday, July 27, 2021. If you were in that area or you know someone who was, please contact us at 208-642-6006, extension 0. That's the Payette County Sheriff's Office, and again, a tip line. Even if you don't believe that you have something that's relevant or relevant information to this case, we want you to contact us so we can recreate a complete picture of the time that Michael was last seen. Every minute counts in these investigations when searching for a missing child, and we appreciate the public's support and cooperation as we continue the search for Michael. If you live in the immediate area, please thoroughly search your property to include any outbuildings, vehicles, anything that a 5-year-old kid could get into. We also ask that you review any security camera footage that you may have that may be attached to your house. Video is extremely important to us in these circumstances and these investigations. We're also very grateful for the public's assistance in following up on each lead. We are vigorously following up on each lead that we're getting in. So I want to make it clear that as your tips are coming in, they're not falling on deaf ears. The community knows because they see us out here every single day, pounding the pavement, pounding these rural areas. We are working. We're committed to finding Michael, and we're not going to leave any stones unturned. So you need to understand that the investigation of this child we're using every resource, and it's very intense. We ask that the community only report information from credible sources to law enforcement. And as we know that as we're just, we know that if we're just coming up with speculation, it causes rumors, and we'd like to have factual information. So please help us out that way so we can chase down factual leads. We also want to emphasize that Michael's family continues to be 100% cooperative with our investigation, and we're asking you to be extremely respectful of their privacy during this situation. And we would appreciate that. Super difficult time, as you would know. So Michael was last seen wearing a light blue Minecraft t-shirt over here on my left, dark blue boxer briefs, a child size 11 sandal, and he stands 3'7" tall. He's 50 pounds. He's got blonde hair, blue eyes, and he answers to the nickname Monkey. If you see Michael, have any information that would lead us to his whereabouts or his location, please call the Fayette County Sheriff's Office at 208-642-6006, extension 0. So we just want to extend our appreciation to our community. We thank you for your continued support and the media. And with that, I'll stand for a few questions.
So I've out here the past few days, there's a lot of people driving out here wanting to help, but they weren't really sure. There was some organized stuff, but just what do you want people to do who are wanting to help you guys out? Do you want them to stay out of your way? Is there things that they can do to help support, or kind of what direction you want people to go?
Okay, thank you. That's a great question, and we've been getting that quite a bit. I would tell you that where we certainly appreciate the public's wanting to help us, you know, we've evaluated that several times, and it can become a little problematic for us. So what we're asking the public to do at this point is to search their residences and their homes. You never know. We got a 5-year-old kid out there. You know, he can wander in and out of places super easy, into people's backyards. Any place that he could be on a larger piece of property, that's what we're asking the public to do. We have trained professional search teams with search canines that are certified, and we're in these areas that we have been for the last 3 days now. So we're asking for the public to stay out of those areas and let us search those with these certified search teams. They're professionals. They know what they're looking for. A lot of times when we recruit civilian help, they miss things. And so where we have such an intense and such an important goal to accomplish, we don't want to miss a thing. We need to cover those pieces of ground inch by inch with trained searchers who know what they're looking for. And they have canines that accompany them that are trained and certified as well. So we're just asking the public to help us out that way. Let us work through this with trained professionals. At the end of this, if we still find nothing, we may recruit the public's help in another mass area search down the road. But that'll be down the road, and that is an as-needed event. Okay? Thank you. Corey.
What credible leads have you gotten so far since last time we spoke?
Corey, thank you for the question, but I'm not gonna opine or weigh in on the ongoing investigation into this thing. I just can't do it. So I appreciate that. Our focus and our main focus is finding MJ and bringing him back to his family, and that's where we're at right now. Search and rescue operations, and we're going to continue doing that. So thank you.
And you mentioned canine teams coming in. Were some canines brought in from out of state as well?
Well,
Yes,
they were.
we've got canines, we've had at least 10 specific canine teams from at least 3 different agencies.
I'm sorry, could you step up to the podium for
Yeah.
just a second? I'm sorry.
We've had at least 10 separate canine teams from 3 different organizations that span from coast to coast.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello to whoever just come in to chat. Please hit that thumbs up.
It's outrageous.
Sorry about that. Please hit that thumbs up while you're here.
These outside agencies bring everything to the case.
It helps my algorithm so other people can see my video.
Equipment, I mean, everything. I mean, the city of Fruitland, we're a small city. You know, we've got 12 officers out here beating the street every day. So bringing these experienced, qualified people into these investigations for us it's just completely incredible, and it's huge for us. The City of Fruitland Police Department we can continue to support our community and handle those calls for service that we need to, while adding support to this team here as we continue this investigation. Yeah, it's incredible. So.
Has any additional equipment been brought outside from the police, like with these agencies?
I don't understand your question. So any other equipment? So we do have drones that have been brought in from the Meridian Police Department. We have an Idaho State Police drone, as well as a Payette County drone and a Sand Hollow Fire drone, all of which are pretty sophisticated, and they have FLIR capabilities, and we are continuing to use those as we search.
And just for the people that aren't familiar, could you explain what FLIR is?
FLIR is a forward-looking infrared thermal imaging device, and so we put that up there. We like to primarily do that in areas where it's a little bit cooler, so maybe in the morning or late at night.
Like a heat-seeking camera type thing.
On those devices, and so we're continuing to do that. It's a great resource. So.
Is there anything you can release about? Was there any indication of a direction of travel or a direction that Michael might have gone, or anything of that nature?
You know, I will tell you that he was last seen there on Southwest 9th. We're still trying to pin down some directions of travel, but I don't have that. You know, our goal is to find him, and we're going to continue hunting. And I will tell you that everything is on the table on this. Okay, so we're going to continue our search and rescue efforts. And I appreciate you guys. I thank you for being out here today. And having said that, would the family like to speak to this at all? Not.
I just want to thank the community and all the enforcement agencies that have been continuously, tirelessly looking for him. And anybody that has any information, please contact the Fruitland PD. We just want our monkey home. We just miss our baby and we want him home.
Anything helps. Anything.
Okay. Thank you, guys. All right, with that, we'll conclude. I thank you for coming.
And I will leave you with some pictures of little Michael, Monkey, MJ, and let's just hope that this isn't one of those long, never-ending searches. Let's hope there's an answer, and an answer quickly, and he's safe. Thank you for watching Left Undone, Incomplete Investigations. I'm Catherine. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you're interested in following my channel.
Okay.
Much appreciated.
Right
Thank
here,
you so much.
we're going to
Stay safe. Stay well. Bye-bye.
And we're going to like. Can you please do that for my channel? Thank you. Now next, this smoke is because I have a sage stick burning right here in front of me. I don't want any bad karma in my video. I burn sage. No bad karma. For you or for me. So next we're going to go to NBC News. I will copy the link here. All the links are in my description as well. And sorry. Thank you, Amanda Panda. I'm sorry. Let me back it up.
Death. Huff said on Monday that credible tip came from someone inside of the house.
We received a search warrant, and we started excavating the backyard of this residence due to the fact that there's potential for Michael's remains to be in this backyard.
Here's a map of the area. The house is just 4 minutes from the Vaughan family home. Police arrested 35-year-old Sarah Wandra over the weekend, who lived in the house being searched. She's charged with failure to report a death. Wandra appeared via Zoom for an arraignment Monday afternoon in Payette County.
It is alleged that you did on or about the 12th day of November of this year, here in the state of Idaho, fail to notify the coroner of a death, the death of Michael Vaughan, with the intent to prevent the discovery of the manner of death. That is a felony here in the state of Idaho. Do you understand the allegation that's been made against you?
I understand what they've said is not correct.
A prosecutor said Wandra is already on pretrial release, charged with unlawful possession of a firearm in Idaho. Court records show she was convicted of felony attempted robbery in Oregon in 2013.
I think it shows that she's a danger to the community.
A Payette County judge set Wandra's bond at $500,000. KTVB obtained the criminal complaint in the case, but the judge decided to seal the probable.
I just got a message on my phone that says Jennifer Coffindaffer is saying something new in Idaho. I think this is in Idaho. So it's probably about the person that was arrested today in conjunction with this case.
Cause affidavit and other records. The judge, prosecution, and defense agreed. They do not want to jeopardize such a high-profile case. Chief Huff says they've fielded more than 1,500 leads. Police have not said whether they've found Michael or his remains yet. The chief told us they plan on excavating the entire backyard and digging 3 to 4 feet down.
This is arduous work.
So are they going to throw that dirt back?
But we're not going to stop.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories.
Okay. This part of the story I'm fixing to tell you. My husband and I were talking about it, and he thinks this is a wonderful idea, and he said that he would be pleased to do this. He'd be pleased to do this for any of them. Sebastian, Monkey, Summer Wells. Their whole yard will be a swimming pool because, from what I understand, they even dug underneath the house in some areas. Okay, so let's go to the next video because there was a crawl space under the house, under the master bedroom. So let's like this go bigger. Oh yeah, sorry. This is Channel 7 News. I'm going to give credit. And pull it up. And hit go.
Since Fruitland boy Michael Vaughan went missing. Today, the Homeward Bound Project unveiled one of its trailers printed with Michael's face on it.
Yeah, the goal to get Michael's name and face out in the public in hopes of spreading awareness and bringing him home. And this comes as Fruitland police updated the public on the investigation.
It's been 1 year since Michael Vaughan disappeared from his Fruitland neighborhood. 1 year since Michael's parents have been without their little boy. 1 year since Fruitland police first started their search for the now 6-year-old boy, affectionately known as Monkey.
We haven't stopped. Every day we have unfinished business.
To now help with the search, the Fruitland Police Department is teaming up with Washington State Patrol's Homeward Bound Project. On Wednesday, they unveiled this trailer printed with Michael's face.
We know that exposure along the interstate.
Look at that. My husband said he would gladly pull that trailer anywhere in the country. He would pull one that had Sebastian's face on it. He would pull one with Summer Wells' face on it. Any missing child, he would pull that trailer.
States and highways and the roads of this country will help bring new leads and potentially help us bring Michael home safely.
This is one of 3 trailers that will feature Michael and travel across the country and Canada.
The trailers behind me are going to be seen by millions of travelers on highways around the country. These are our children. These are kids. And they're our most valuable asset that we have in our communities. And we need to make sure that we provide them with the most attention that we can give them and bring them home to their families who are waiting for them every single day, every minute.
The unveiling of the trailer comes as Fruitland police addressed questions about Michael's parents and the investigation.
After a year-long thorough investigation, the family is not a focus of our investigation at this point. They are continuing to fully cooperate with us. Today, as members of this community, we continue to agonize with the family.
We want to thank all of you, all of the officers, all of the agencies. You guys have just keep working so hard, and we're gonna get him home. We're not gonna stop. We're gonna find him.
As the trailer with Monkey's face gets ready to pull away, with it carries his mom Brandy's message.
Whoever has Michael or knows anything and has information about Michael, please come forward. We need him home. And Monkey, we love you, baby. You're coming home.
And today, Fruitland police said they've processed more than 1,200 leads. Some they've cleared, some they're still working on. Right now, there are 15 trailers, including this one with 7 different children featured. Again, these trailers will travel across the country and Canada, but the primary route are along the western 7 states. So that includes Colorado, Idaho, Washington, Arizona, and Utah. And the hope, again, is that someone will see Michael's face on these trailers and know his whereabouts and bring him home.
Isn't that awesome? Okay, we have 2 in chat now. I hope you guys have hit the thumbs up. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate you 100%. You are the reason I have a channel. Couldn't do it without you. All right. This is another channel. Oh, this is 17 minutes from Lord and Art, and he's going to kind of recap us on the story and tell us. Now, I'm hearing different situations. Yesterday, I heard that Brandy, Monkey's mom, was at work, and that Tyler, when he found Monkey missing, he called Brandy, and then her coworker told her to go home because that was more important, that she be at home with her child to help find her child. Okay. And then she got home just after the police got there. So they got to her home about the same time. Then in another interview I was listening to, I heard that Brandy got home and they went out hunting for about a half an hour to the splash pad and around in the area for about a half an hour. And then they called the police about 7:30. And then I heard again on another station that I heard a third different scenario. That I heard that the police met Brandy and Tyler at the splash pad. So now I don't know which one actually happened. I wasn't there. But it seems strange that there's 3 different beginnings to this story. I'm going to put that down as a 7th relevance because if you remember in the Sebastian Rogers case, there were several different beginnings to Katie's story. Sorry, I write slow. Okay, now I'll pull this one up and listen to what Lorden has to say. That's a cool name, Lorden. Manda Panda, you need to have a child and name him Lorden, because that's a cool name. I like that name.
And why that day was so different. One minute he's here and people see him, and the next he's gone.
We've all heard parents say, I looked away for just a minute. But in some cases, that minute of panic continues for hours, days, or even years. I kept an eye on this case when it originally broke, but thought that law enforcement was close to solving it. This year, we found out that close just doesn't cut it, and this case needs more help. It's time to turn on the searchlight.
Close only counts in hand grenades and horseshoes. Sorry, Esther Boy. You're fine. You're fine.
For Michael Vaughan.
It's your weekend. You've got a life. I understand.
Welcome back to Brain Scratch Searchlight. I'm John Lorden. Thank you so much for caring about these cases like I do. A very close friend of the channel is actually facing some medical challenges right now. And I know this is a case that she's very passionate about. So when you see this, please know that you helped inspire today's episode. And I'm hoping that you're getting through everything okay and that you're back on the road to good health very, very soon. Michael Joseph Vaughan, called Monkey by his loving family, was born to Tyler Vaughan and Brandy Neal on June 24th, 2016. 5 years later, the family, along with the new addition, Aria, affectionately called Buggy, were living in a neighborhood near Southwest 9th Street in Fruitland, Idaho. Fruitland is a city along the Snake and Payette rivers in Payette County, Idaho. It lies along U.S. Route 95 in the Treasure Valley of southwest Idaho, about 50 miles west of Boise, on the border with Oregon. Fruitland is named after apple orchards that surround the community, and its slogan is the Big Apple of Idaho.
My husband travels 95 quite often. He goes to Oregon and Washington and Wyoming and all up in that area. He's always, I'm near Boise. I'm near, he's always up there. And that's why he would be so happy to pull one of those trailers. Right now, he got rerouted today and he's on his way to Indiana. He was going to Texas. Now he's going to Indiana. So it's a longer ride.
As of the 2010 census, the city had a total population of over 4,500 people. It was a warm day on July 27th, 2021, and Brandy had worked several days in a row without any time off. Luckily, she had a few days off coming up. She was looking forward to some relaxation and spending time with her children, but she had another work day to push through. As she left for work, Michael said, I love you, Mama. And she promised to come home in time for them to play and that she would be there to tuck him into bed that night.
Okay. This is really strange. I'm gonna mark that as number 8 because I'll tell you. In the Sebastian Rogers case, Katie made a point to say that Sebastian said, "I love you." Okay? Now, in the first thing we heard yesterday, if you were here, or you can go back and watch that video, Brandy said that when she was getting ready to leave for work, Monkey didn't want her to go. And she promised him that she would be home in time to play with him, and she would be able to play with him for the next few days before she had to go back to work. Because she was working the end of a 5 or 6 day work week, and she just started her new job. Katie's situation was weird. This situation isn't weird because I know when I had to leave my kids with you, I had to promise them that I was coming back and I would be there before they went back. That's true. That's true. The words, him saying, "I love you, Mom," because that wasn't what was in the first story. The first beginning of what I heard yesterday, it was that he didn't want his mama to go, and she promised him that she would be home, and they played for a few days. And then this guy is saying the last thing he said was, "I love you, Mama." And that's what Katie said was the last thing that Sebastian said to her was, before the thud, was, "I love you, Mama." So it's really weird.
Unfortunately, that wouldn't quite happen that way.
Also, I mean, I know it's not necessary to say because I know exactly where my son's at and everything. But before he leaves to go to work, he tells me he loves me. Before he goes to bed at night, he tells me he loves me. Every time he texts me, when he's done texting, he tells me he loves me. That's just something our family does. So, and it's not something that I have to come out and say. If for heaven's sake, knock on wood, anything happened to my son, I would not have to put in the report the last thing he said to me was, "I love you." I would know that, and that would be something I'd want to keep in my heart. So,
Michael was a high energy kid, part of the reason for his family nickname of Monkey. His father, Tyler, stayed at home watching both the children. Michael spent a lot of the day playing his Nintendo Switch. When Brandy called to check in on everyone around 4 p.m., things seemed normal. A few hours later, Tyler went to the bedroom to check on Aria and change her diaper, leaving Michael alone playing in the living room. After changing Aria, Tyler called and ordered a pizza and walked back into the living room. That's when he realized that Michael was gone. Michael had previously wandered off on occasion, but was usually found close by. Tyler hurried outside, thinking Michael might be looking for other children to play with, but after a quick search, he just couldn't find him. He called Brandy, and he called the police. When the mother received the call, she immediately left work to return home. She met police officers at the park near their home, and it was clear that the search for Michael...
See, that's what I was just telling you. Yesterday, we heard that she arrived home at the same time the police arrived. So I don't know how that happened.
Was already in full swing. Neighbors started piecing together their sightings. Between 6 and 7 p.m., they saw Michael in his yard. Some saw him on the street, talking to other neighbors. He was also seen near his home, walking east. They all said that Michael didn't seem scared, but they didn't really keep track of him, and soon Michael was gone. He has wandered a few times, but it doesn't make sense, his mother Brandy would say. As soon as word spread through the community, many came out to help. Some searched the town, while others searched fields and storm drains. Everything was checked, from trash cans to park bathrooms. If a 5-year-old could hide in it, that area was searched. At 8:20 p.m., the first missing and endangered child alert went out. Unfortunately, an Amber Alert couldn't be issued in this case because it didn't meet the correct criteria. In Idaho, the very first stipulation...
Can you believe that? A missing child, 5 years old. Now, in Tennessee, we learned with Sebastian that they had to be under 12 years old or have a medical condition that could prevent them from making it home safely. And in Sebastian's case, he had the medical condition because he had the autism and the chromosome deletion, whatever that disorder was. So Sebastian met the criteria because of his autism. Okay. Monkey is 5 years old. He's in Idaho next to the Canadian border. Okay, remember, they're close to the Canadian border. And he doesn't meet the criteria. Let me tell you, he's about to tell you the criteria.
Speculation is that law enforcement knows that an abduction has occurred. And with the witness statements, there just wasn't enough to make that determination. Over the next week, search efforts ran around the clock. The Fruitland Police Department was joined by the National Guard, the FBI, Idaho State Police, and Mountain Search and Rescue, as well as other law enforcement agencies. All converged on the small town. In total, there were 13 different law enforcement agencies that conducted searches. At a press conference on August 4th, Fruitland PD explained just how deep these searches were. Nearly 200 homes and their properties were searched, with all of those residents being questioned. 200 trash cans were examined, canals were drained, as well as irrigation ditches, and even a septic tank in an area was pumped because searchers became concerned that Michael could have fallen into it. However, nothing was found. CCTV footage from both residential and business cameras were taken and combed through. 163 tips were also assigned out to numerous investigators. Most of those were cleared quickly. 3,000 acres of farmland were searched. Drones were used, aircraft, scent dogs, boats, and kayaks, even paragliders were used in the search for Michael. The efforts were just not turning up any trace of the missing 5-year-old. Our goal is to find Michael. We've called on a considerable number of highly trained people and specialized resources who've come here to Fruitland to join the search, said Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff. Michael deserves every effort we can make to find him, and that's what we're doing, he concluded. For the next 3 months, search efforts continued. Brandy and Tyler worked to keep Michael's name and face on everyone's minds. How many times can the human heart break? I don't even know how many times mine does in a day, Brandy told a reporter from KBOI. The small community grieved with the family. Some hung posters while others searched. One group even organized a motorcycle ride to spread awareness. Everyone participating met at the Fruitland Community Park to pray that Michael would be found, and all of their motorcycles were decorated with blue ribbons, Michael's favorite color.
Motorcycle rally. Okay, now I understand that the motorcycle rally in Sebastian's team was on his father's side. I can understand that. But still, it is a relevant connection, you know. I'm just, that's connection number 9.
In November of 2021, it was announced that because so little was uncovered during the searches, law enforcement had finally come to believe that Michael had been abducted. The family took lie detector tests and were ruled out as suspects. A campaign was started using semi-truck trailers that showed Michael's information on them as they made trips around the state. They did everything they could to find this little boy. Michael's disappearance and the grief his family was facing was noticed by Governor Brad Little of Idaho. And on April 27, 2022, he signed Monkey's Law into effect. The law established a new endangered missing person alert system that runs parallel to an Amber Alert. This type of alert will help to catch those cases that don't meet the strict criteria for a full Amber Alert, like Michael's case didn't. In the summer of 2022, word was spreading in the community that investigators were back looking into the area that Michael was last seen. And on November 11th, 2022, it was announced that there was a break in the case. A credible tip came in stating that the remains of Michael could be found buried in the backyard of a local house on Red Wing Street. When officers arrived at Brandy and Tyler's home that morning, they expected to hear another update on their son's case. Instead, they were told that a woman named Sarah Wandra had been arrested for being involved in Michael's abduction, and she had been charged with failure to report a death. However, at that time, Michael's remains had not actually been found. Brandy and Tyler's lives were thrown into turmoil with this new information. Brandy even remembered that when they first went out searching for Michael, she had knocked on the door of that residence where he was supposedly buried, but no one answered the door. It was just a few minutes away from their own home. The thought that he had been so close to them all this time was just too much to bear. There were others living at the home on Red Wing Street when Michael would have been abducted. Wandra's husband, Stacy, was one of them and also believed to be involved. However, he was not arrested. He was already serving a sentence in the Washington County Jail on an unrelated firearms charge. Law enforcement's next step was to excavate the backyard on Red Wing Street. Brandy and Tyler were told to stay at home and hunker down. All Brandy could do was watch the dump trucks that were loaded with dirt from the yard driving past her house on their way to a processing center to be searched for evidence. On December 1st, a press conference was held at which Police Chief Huff explained, although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not discovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. They also announced that there were two other suspects either staying with or visiting the Wandras when Michael went missing, and they were also being investigated. Their names are Brandon Sherliff and Adrian Lucien, both with lengthy criminal
Sherliff was arrested today.
records. The pair were no longer living in Idaho, but Fruitland police said a week later that they had been in contact with both men. No further comment was made. A month later, in January of 2023, Fruitland PD announced in a Facebook post that police recovered several pieces of evidence at the Wandras' home. Quote, some of those pieces have been sent to a private DNA lab for further analysis. That process will take time, and we're patiently waiting for the results, the post said. In a case where law enforcement clearly seems to have the right information and are working hard to find the proof to back it up, things take an unexpected turn. Sarah Wandra was committed to a state hospital in Blackfoot on December 6th, 2022. All court hearings were put on hold until her mental health evaluation could be concluded. The commitment order indicated that she was found unfit to assist in her own defense. Further proceedings would have to wait until she was found competent. The court met and discussed her status every single month until March 27th, 2023, when it was agreed that she could now proceed with trial. But just as one unbelievable twist comes to a conclusion, another would shake this entire case apart. Less than a month later, on April 17th, charges against Sarah Wandra were dropped, and the request actually came from the prosecutor's office. Payette County prosecuting attorney Michael Duke asked that the charges be dismissed without prejudice, meaning the door is still open for charges to be filed at a later date. His reasoning was based on the Idaho Supreme Court's 2018 ruling in State versus Akins. That case was a very similar situation. However, the woman charged with failure to notify authorities of a death was found to have her Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination violated simply by her admitting to those charges. Sarah Wandra will thankfully stay in jail as she is still facing charges from an incident in April of 2022, including aggravated assault, destruction of evidence, and possession of a controlled substance. However, none of those charges are in relation to the disappearance of Michael Vaughan. When Michael's mother, Brandy, spoke with KTVB News, she said that she was disheartened and upset, but she still has hope. Quote, I know police are steadfast in their ongoing investigation and in bringing justice for Michael. She wants anyone who was involved in her son's death to know more charges are coming. It has now been just over 2 years since Michael disappeared. June 24th would be his 7th birthday, and the family held a private event to remember him. The outpouring of support Brandy has received from all over the world is truly heartwarming. She has asked, quote, "Please keep sharing his beautiful smile, beautiful face. He's out there somewhere, and we need him home. Don't forget about him." This is clearly a case where prosecutors need more information, and a family needs to know where their little boy ended up. Michael Joseph Vaughan was last seen wearing a blue Minecraft t-shirt, dark blue briefs, and blue flip-flops. He was 5 years old at the time of his disappearance. He stood at 3 foot 7 inches tall and weighed 50 pounds. His hair is blonde and his eyes are blue.
Okay. So that doesn't leave us a lot of new information, but they did excavate, because I had read in an article that the dogs had hit on the yard, and I had also heard that Stacy had said that the woman had buried Monkey under the rose bushes or something. We'll get into that interview later. How far later, I don't know, but we'll get into it later. Let's go into this one. It's the last one, and it's just like 4 minutes. Okay, and this is also credit to News Channel 7. And I'll give them a thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up. Let me get up here.
After several weeks of digging up the backyard of a home in Fruitland, police said today during a news conference they did not find Michael Vaughan's remains, also affectionately known as Monkey. Vaughan was 5 years old when he went missing from his Fruitland neighborhood in July of 2021. The backyard of the house crews dug up is just 4 minutes away from the Vaughan family home. And our Abby Davis is live in Fruitland. Abby, you were at that news conference today. What came out of it?
Well, sadly, Shira, there are still just a lot of questions about what happened to Michael. This was just a few hours ago when Police Chief J.D. Huff came out and shared what they found from that excavation and that searching of the Fruitland home. Now, Huff said, quote, "They strongly believe that Michael was abducted, buried, and then later removed from that Fruitland property. But the question now is where he is. They do not know, but they do believe that these 4 people right here, these 4 photographs you can see, have some knowledge about what happened to Michael, and I'll walk you through it. This is Sarah Wander. She was arrested earlier in November for failure to report a death, and she is currently being...
Isn't she beautiful?
Being held in the Payette County Jail. Sarah and her husband Stacy both lived in the home that crews excavated and searched. This is Stacy Wandra. Once again, they are a married couple. He is currently in the Washington County Jail on unrelated charges. So we already knew that the Wandras lived in the home being excavated. What we didn't know, and what Huff told us earlier today, was that these 2 other men, they believe, also had some sort of knowledge about what happened to Michael. They are not in the state of Idaho right now. They believe they are in other states right now. One of them was actually visiting the Wandras at that house, and the other one actually lived with the Wandras. So once again, they believe that these 4 people have some sort of knowledge about what happened to Michael. Huff also said that they believe that there are other people, additional people, just in addition to these 4 people that know what happened to Michael.
You just need to trust us and trust in this investigation. We're making tremendous progress. We're comfortable with where we're at.
Now take a look at the house crews excavated after
That sounds like
received a
something
credible tip. That credible tip, Huff said, came from one of the occupants inside of the home. We don't know which occupant that was. He said the cadaver dogs alerted to there being potential human remains in the backyard. Crews sifted through more than 250 yards of dirt and are still processing evidence found inside of the home. However, he couldn't speak to what sort of evidence. Huff said he believes Wandra will remain in custody, Sarah Wandra, that is. And he also said that he believes that there is enough information to start to charge Stacy, and believes that those charges are forthcoming. But that credible tip, he said, also included the neighbor's house. But he said that they don't believe that there's any sort of potential human remains in that neighbor's house, but they are wrapping up that search tomorrow using some radar technology. Huff says they've received over 1,500 tips and leads about what may have possibly happened to Michael, and that they've received many more since then, now that they've entered this new phase of this investigation. But Shira, like I said before, still lots and lots of questions. Huff said that they do believe that they will be searching some other locations, but couldn't really give any specifics about what that means.
Yeah, still so many questions, as you just mentioned. Abby Davis, live in Fruitland. Thank you for reporting for us today.
So what do you think? What is your thoughts on this case? So, I don't know. I'm still at a loss. I'm eager to do more research to find out more. Although there's other content creators who are covering the same story, but they're much farther. They've been following since the beginning, so they know what's going on all the way up until today when Brandon was arrested. Thank you, Manda Panda. Now, how's that possible? Sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. There, I got it. I can see you putting all these thumbs up right here, but yet there's nobody in chat. Wonder if that's why Brittany's always saying, how many thumbs up do we have? How many do we have in chat? You know, things like that. Because, I mean, it doesn't look like there's anybody in chat, but you're right there. I don't know. So, have you been following the Monkey Vaughan case, Manda Panda? Do you know what's going on with it? And Michael Vaughan out of Idaho? I have a sore right behind my bra strap, and it itches. I got a Band-Aid over it so I don't scratch the top of it off. Now I got one person in chat again. They messing with you. Yes. I've got my stage burning. Not anymore. It's done burning, but okay. So I'm going to get up here and I'm going to do some more research for tomorrow. And I'm going to create another thumbnail for Monkey. Hopefully I can find one of a little boy with Easter basket and whatever. No, well, you haven't. Okay. Well, I'm researching it. I'm trying to learn it. I pray, just like Sebastian, just like Summer Wells. I pray that I do not get caught up on any of the cases. Now, Sebastian's I'm kind of caught up on because I've been following that one since August. The Summerwells and Monkey Vaughan, anybody else, I hope I don't get caught up before they get brought home. That's what I hope. I don't want to get all the way to where I'm sitting here waiting for more news, the way many people are sitting and waiting for more news. I want to be able to keep researching and keep learning, but I want to have them brought home before I find out everything I can figure out. That's what I hope. We'll learn together. Yes, we will. So, thank you for being here. When I came on live, AWBJ was live on her backup channel. I saw it on TV before I came on here. If anybody follows that channel and wants to scoot on over there. Do something nice for someone, even if it's just be the reason they smile. Thank you for being here because you make me being here possible and you make me smile by being here. Have a wonderful night. And if I don't see you again, happy Easter weekend.